Hello my friend, sitting next to me is Kali Audio's rather handsome 6.2 subwoofer. The question is, do you absolutely need a subwoofer to make great sounding mixes from your home studio? No, I don't think so. But if you ask me the question, do I think you should get a subwoofer in your home studio? I would say absolutely yes. And I can think of a lot of reasons why it should be this one. So let's dive straight in. So first off, I just want to say a massive thank you to the guys over at Kali for sending this sub in, but to let you know watching this that this is not a paid video and all my comments and thoughts on this sub are my own. So up until Kali had sent this in, it had actually been quite a while since I'd used a sub when mixing, actually quite a few years. I think the last time would have been when I was working in a pro studio, and I remember having the near fields on and then clicking the knob and activating the sub and being like, that just sounds so good. And it's so helpful to hear what's going on down there. I'm also not a huge fan of using headphones, so I really did enjoy that setup. But of course, referencing with a decent set of headphones in conjunction with your near-field monitors can get you great mix results. But using a sub is kind of like having a Rolls Royce in your studio. So on to Kali 6.2, and I want to give you some reasons straight off the bat why I think this is such a great sub. Firstly, size. This is about half the size of a typical sub in its class. And that's really important for me because you will have noticed that I work up in an attic, and to get up in the attic there's a ladder, and crucially there's an attic hatch, and that hatch happens to be not that much bigger than this sub, so it's probably one of the few subs I would actually be able to get up here and work with. Secondly, I don't work sitting at a typical office chair, so I'm usually either on the floor or I'm sitting on a footstool like I am now, so my desk is a lot lower than most people's desks. In fact, it's just a tiny bit higher than this sub. So if I wanted to get the sub under the desk, again, this would probably be just about the only option I could go for. Of course, my situation is unique to me, but I'm very aware that for most people, in most home studios, space is a big premium. So size-wise, it's just a little bit bigger than the 8-inch monitors that you can see behind me, and it's a slightly different shape, being a bit more cubey. Weight-wise, it's a fair bit heavier, coming in at 14 kilograms, which I guess is a really good thing when it's got to deal with all of that low-end bass energy. Whilst I've been using it over the last few weeks, I've had no problems with it vibrating or trembling with bassy energy. This thing's been solid as a rock. So it's front-ported, and on the sides, it's where you'll find those two opposing 6-inch woofers. So we've established this is a great sub for a home studio. Most home studios are going to be running a stereo setup like I am. So I'll just run you through how you set that up. Hello my friend, just interrupting this video for a moment to ask you a question. Are you fed up creating underwhelming mixes that just don't stand out on sites like Spotify? If that sounds familiar, I've got some good news. I've created a course just for you. It's called Pro Mix Method and it's free. It's going to teach you how to create a solid foundation for your mix so you can leave frustration at the door and start getting the results that you deserve. The link for the free course Pro Mix Method is just below this video. So your outputs from your interface then go into inputs here on the sub. You set your sub to 80 Hertz crossover, and your outputs come XLR out of here and then into your respective monitors. When you first get your sub and you're experimenting with placement, I recommend having the volume right down and then just creeping it up to taste until you feel the level blend sounds good. The setup options also cater for multi-channel setups too. And if one of these isn't enough and you need more bass, you can also link them together to get double the power. Bassy. Okay, so I've now set the sub up under the desk. I've plugged it in, it's ready to go. I wanted to give you some kind of audio example. Obviously, it's not going to be like what it's like to be exactly in this room, but hopefully it gives you a bit of an indication of what things sound like. I'd recommend listening on your headphones. So what I'm going to do is set up a matched pair roughly in the place where my head's going to be, so you get a bit of a feel of what the sound is like in the room. I'm using the Kali LP8s, which are the black ones on the stand, in conjunction with the sub, and the music I'm running through is a particular piece of stock music I did a few years back, which I know has got plenty of grunt in the low end. Let's take a listen. Two big things have changed since I've had this sub in place. Firstly, mixing has simply become easier. It's become more enjoyable. You know, it's so much easier to do the job when you've got the right tools for the job. And secondly, simply the enjoyment of listening to music, working on it, producing music, recording music, and sitting and recreationally listening back to music. When I first got these, I just wanted to test it out, and I listened to some of Pearl Jam's Unplugged set and ended up watching the entire thing because it just sounded so great with this sub in. Music just sounded so lifted and elevated and where it kind of should be. Now, I love the LP8s, and I really noticed the difference in this room when I upgraded from the 6s to the 8s, and I still love the 6s, but getting the sub in place as well has just taken everything up to a much greater level. So as I said at the top of the video, do you 100% need a sub to make great mixes from your home studio? I don't believe so, but should you get one? Yes, I definitely think so. And this Kali 6.2 is an excellent choice. Finally, I want to add one more adage to that, is that once you've got this sub, beware, because you're not going to want to work again without one. It's a bit like getting a car. You know, when you've had a car for a few years, you look back to the time before you had a car and go, how on earth did I cope and get through life without it? It definitely feels like that with the sub. I think you can tell by now, I really do love this sub. If you are thinking about getting a sub for your home studio, don't hesitate. This Kali one is simply superb. I'll leave a link below this video so you can find out more about the Kali 6.2 sub. Of course, if you enjoyed this video today, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Remember, if you want to start making smarter mixes from your home studio that stand out on sites like Spotify, that free course for you Pro Mix method is just waiting for you. Link to is below this video. If you enjoyed this review today, you definitely want to check this next one out.